I don't know.
Okay.
This is my first interview, so
Okay.
who knows?
I'm honored to be the first.
What's your name?
My name is Karen Cross. I live in Bristol, Tennessee.
Nice to meet you, Karen.
Nice to meet you.
What is your sign about?
I have a sign that said "Hands off my Social Security,"
Okay.
because we're really concerned that Social Security is being gutted, and the fact that so many people, Social Security workers, have been fired. There could be people who do not receive their benefits, and it's almost impossible already to get an appointment, and so it's just going to mean it's even more difficult to get someone to help you. But I'm also, I'm concerned about so much. I have many signs that I can hold up. I'm really concerned about the REAL Act. I'm very concerned that married women are going to find they are unable to vote when they go to vote because their birth certificate doesn't match their married name.
That's what the SAVE Act?
That's the SAVE Act. Now,
Yep.
I'm really concerned about that, and I don't think that it's getting as much attention as it needs. I think women are going to be shocked when they try to vote and are unable to.
Yeah.
And that's not a democracy when we keep, millions of Americans from being able to vote.
Absolutely.
No longer a democracy.
Is this your first protest?
No, it is not. This is my third or fourth.
Okay.
But I have never protested until just in the last several months. But I'm a retired social studies teacher, and my alarm over what is happening has really helped me be brave enough to stand out. I'm an introvert, but I'm so concerned of what's happening in America. I was willing to make a stand.
I'm glad to see you out here today. What were some of the other protests that you went to?
I went to the protest last Saturday in Kingsport. Is that in Kingsport? Yes,
There was one in Kingsport?
And then I have showed up several times at the one here in Johnson City where we protest on Tuesday and Thursdays near the mall.
Johnson City Mall.
Yeah,
It's
near
called
Johnson City Mall.
the Blackburn or
Yes,
something
the
like that?
Blackburn protest.
Blackburn protest.
Yes.
And do they do that every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday and Thursday
Not good.
from 11:30 to 1:30.
Let's see. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. All right. You said you've been at other protests. Are they all about the anti-Trump and anti-Musk?
They have all been about just really trying to protect our democracy.
Okay.
So
We're going to have to go
that's what
into this.
I really consider this more than a protest, more of a protector of our democracy.
Absolutely.
I saw someone say that not too long ago, and to me, that's where we are. If we are not willing to step out and try to protect our democracy, I think we're going to lose it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's at risk. What do you plan to do after this protest to continue showing support for the cause?
Well, I'm hoping to show up for the Tuesday, Thursday protests that we do. I'm also going to try to get more involved with the League of Women Voters.
Okay.
And future protests, I will be unable to do the next one because I'm going to be out of town, but future protests, I'm absolutely willing to take the stand and give the time. So this will not be my last one for sure.
And how did you hear about this protest?
I follow several of the groups that are on Facebook, and many of those groups that are posting. I know Terrell Yates is doing an update just about daily on all the activities that you can participate in if you want to protect democracy, and I've seen those on several different Facebook groups, and that's how I found out.
Okay. And what do you say to the people that are not supportive of this cause?
Well, I think it's really hard. Most of my relatives support Trump and the current regime. I think it's hard to try to talk to people and to try to break through. But if we just continue to share the facts, everyone is in danger of losing future Social Security benefits, of losing future Affordable Care Act insurance. That's what I'm on, and I'm really scared I'm going to lose that because I have a pre-existing condition.
Right.
It's not just those of us that are being brave enough to come out and protest or try to protect the democracy. Everyone's in danger. Everyone is being hit right now because of these tariffs. I think we're going to all find our prices go up. It's time for people to stop just being loyal, blindly loyal, and try to do some critical thinking and look at what is happening. Don't just associate it with Trump. Don't associate it just with the Republican Party. Be open-minded to see what is happening and put your country and your democracy above party and above Trump.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Appreciate you.
I'm Bob Warner.
Nice to meet you, Bob. What brings you out today?
Well, I'm a part of a movement here in Johnson City and really the whole area of Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia of citizens that are speaking up of their concern. They're concerned for so many different things about what's happening with the current administration and the pain that it's causing for individuals. And whatever it is, there's so much going on, there's so much chaos that there's a lot of people that are very concerned about everything from human rights to veterans affairs, and there are those of us that are very concerned about the rule of law being broken by the executive branch. Mm-hmm. There are those of us concerned that the Constitution is being completely ignored by the current administration, and that Congress is not doing their job for their third of the balance of power between three agencies of government.
Is there a specific issue that has personally affected you since this administration?
There is. We know people personally that have that are undocumented that are in this country and have been for over 25 years, mm-hmm. and have been here. They've been working. They've been sending money back from the countries that they came from to support their families there. They're paying their fair share as far as taxes at all levels of government, and now they're being sought out and possibly deported from our country. They've been good support for our economy, good support for our society, and I just, these are folks that are very close to us. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's a story behind every immigrant that's in this country, whether they have gone on to become a green card holder, whether they've come to become citizens, or whether they're not citizens yet. They all have a story. People don't walk 2,000 miles to come to this country because it's a good thing to do on a Saturday afternoon.
Right.
They're coming here for very substantial reasons. They're fearful for their family or themselves or their kids. And they think that the United States is a place where they can thrive and provide for society like all of the American-born people do.
Mm-hmm. How far did you travel to be here today?
We're about a half-hour drive where we live to come here, and we would go much further than that if there are opportunities to gather with people that are like-minded and concerned about what's going on in our government, what's going on in our country, and how we've been divided. I feel very strongly that people are not aware of the power of the political. We have a political industrial complex in this country. Mm-hmm. Let's face it. That means political parties. It means politicians that are running for office, not all of them. It means the media that tells people what to think in one way or tells people what to think in another way. It's consulting firms, it's data firms. They're all part of a political industrial complex, and their purpose of which is to stay in power and not to be listening, but rather to be talking. And we've got real problems. And the most significant basis of the political industrial complex is big money in politics. Because since 2010, when the Supreme Court ruled on Citizens United, the amount of big money and foreign money that goes into political campaigns in this country are what's running everything. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that this person or that person won the last presidential election. Big money won the last presidential election. The people lost, big money won.
There are a lot of people talk about a saying that Bernie Sanders says, it's a government by billionaires for the billionaires.
Yeah.
I know you've most likely been involved with some other protests. Is there a number on how many you've been to, or
no, I have
you go to these often?
I have no idea. For the last probably 10 years, my wife and I have been involved in a lot of national organizations. We traveled the country for 10 years in our RV.
Oh, nice.
We've been involved in a lot of national organizations, from Citizens Climate Lobby to Elders Climate Network We were at the 7-day-long Democracy Spring in Washington, D.C. many years ago. Both of us were arrested. We were there for Fire Drill Fridays with Jane Fonda and Ted Danson on the Capitol steps. For multiple Fridays, we were arrested with them in D.C. And we've been to a lot of places around the country. The second Women's March that took place in 2018 in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
We were there visiting family, and so we were a part of that. And we've ended up in Northeast Tennessee for the last 5 years, and so we're a part of what's going on here.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear. What are you hoping the protest achieves?
Most importantly, awareness of the issues, and that there are people speaking out about these issues. Two other things. One is that the statistics show that this congressional district in Northeast Tennessee primarily votes Republican. I don't really believe there's a Republican Party anymore personally. I think there's a Trump Party, there's not a Republican Party. When you look at the values of the Republican Party 10 years ago, many of us that would consider ourselves independents would agree with a lot of the things that were a part of that platform. That party doesn't exist anymore, and that platform doesn't exist anymore. And so one thing is for elected officials here that are like a shoe-in because they know how the vast majority are going to vote, realize that there's part of their constituency that don't agree. That's an important point. And I think the other is for us to welcome those that either didn't vote, which is the vast majority of people in the United States, the vast majority of people in Tennessee, and the vast majority of people in this congressional district did not vote for one candidate or another. They stayed home, didn't exercise their responsibility as a citizen. And we feel like there's the opportunity now to welcome those people into speaking up about what concerns them, about what's going on in their country. So none of these protests, and the reason that we're here, none of these protests are about Democrat or Republican. They're about the issues and the way the government's being invaded by big money.
That's a really good answer. Thank you. What would you say to someone who doesn't support this cause?
I would say you're welcome to your opinion, and I would invite you to do your own research on the issues as they are unfolding now under this new administration. I have a hard time saying that word. Under this new administration, and recognize how it affects you, your immediate family, your neighborhood, your parents, your grandparents, your kids, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews, and not let other people think for you, not have other people tell you what you're supposed to be thinking, because the political industrial complex that includes the media are programming people, are telling people what they're supposed to think about issues that affect their lives. So part of what we want to achieve with this is to welcome anybody to come and have conversation with and speak up their First Amendment right for what they feel is important for their family.
Perfect. And you've been pretty involved with protests, especially in the area. How would you suggest people get involved if they want to start getting more involved with the protest and politics locally?
Find organizations that are leading the way in organizing, whatever those protests might be, and whatever the issues. Some people center around a political party and the organizations that exist in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia that are political parties. There are other organizations, Facebook groups and others that are popping up literally weekly of people that are saying, I'm fed up and I need to study, I need to understand what's really going on. So that's the invitation and the way to learn about where things are taking place. Peaceful protest. Peaceful
Awesome.
protest.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
You bet. Thank you.
Have a good one.